Hello, everybody. It's Marty the JavaScript Party, and it is Thursday, the 23rd of July. We are in what we like to call the dog days of summer. And the good news is that I have finished the refactor, but from a functional perspective, but the bad news is that I still have to get um, I have to get the unit test working now. Run test. And I think the thing that's so fascinating about this is that when I started this project here, I guess that was the beginning of 2024, I think. Because the reason I think that is because there's been like 500 sessions. Um, the When I started back then, I knew that this project was just going to kind of get stuck in a rut. And the reason I knew it is because I was doing unit tests. And my experience has been that any project I've ever worked on where we did unit tests, the CD space, somehow just kind of just gets stuck in a rut. It's weird. It's like all good, like oddly enough, like everything you see is a great idea. You're just like, oh, okay, oh, as as we're working on stuff, we're things are just broken. And I mean, we just keep noticing improvements to do, but we never actually get to improve the product itself. We just keep improving the code, which from a learning perspective is absolutely amazing, right? Like it's the best of the best of the best. But from a like the project getting done perspective, it's absolutely just kryptonite. I'm glad I did it, right? The biggest reason I'm glad I did it is because um, as I've done this, the I've learned so much. Like it's just like, oh, okay, I see. Um, it's so weird. Sometimes I have the easiest time placing these things, and sometimes I don't. And I swear, it feels like there's a like at first I thought it was just me. I thought it was just like sort of sometimes my um, faculties are just better than others, but I definitely don't think that is the case. I think that when things are kind of coming up, the every all of these motions become more jumpy as you're moving things around. Um, let's see. So yeah, we've had something along these lines for probably over a year, right? And I just keep on doing like um, code improvements. I can never get past the code improvements. And like yesterday, or maybe the day before yesterday, I was like, oh, I know, oh, like I've sort of over time, as I've been developing, I've been like kind of defining some patterns and stuff like that organically. And now my animation scheme is totally out of step with the way the rest of the application works. So it would make a lot of sense to now circle back to animations and improve the way that works. But the but you know, that's just kind of the way it works when you have unit tests. You get to examine every line of code and you get to really contemplate everything. And then what happens is as you start as you start really deeply thinking about it, contemplating it, you start to have issues. Oh, okay, so my unit test can't pass. I was like, why isn't it coming up? You start to have issues because uh, you just keep making the code better, and the code can always get better. That's the problem. That's probably the biggest problem. All right, so normally what I'll do in this first round, there's sort of three discrete steps to unit testing to getting the unit test working once you've got it, you know what you're doing and all that. And the first step is just getting it to transpile. And generally what I'll do is I'll do commenting. I'll just comment things out and then if I need to, I'll delete it later, like if it's just like, oh, okay, this was testing a function that doesn't exist anymore, or if I was um so that's the one thing. The other thing would be like the third step for me is to try to get to 100% coverage, and I've been able to do that so far. Um, and in that step, I can will often come back, and these ones that are sort of commented out end up just needing a small improvement. But anyway, so it looks like we have 5 errors right now. I think one, two, three, four. 4 errors. We got 4 errors, and one of them is in the three animations class on line 103. So in this project, I can hold my control button down and click, and it will take me straight to it. That is not always the case. Okay, so this was an interesting one, right? Because I remember this now. Um, oh, okay. Actually, I guess, I don't know. It says the three render service was not provided, which absolutely makes sense. And this is where the thing is, and then this is the spec that was trying to give it one. So I will comment this out, but I'm guessing that I will end up needing to, I will end up uncommenting this and just adding the new render. As you can see, we get like st scene service up here somewhere. Yeah, right here. So we'll need to do something along those lines, but at this phase, I just want to get it to compile to see where we're at. So we will comment this out, and I'm okay. And I think what I'll do, and this is kind of new, is I'm going to put like a little comment in here, control dot the eyeballs, um, use an additional service, and then that is three renderer service, which is weird because that's not a new one. That's not even right. It's the three group service that it needs. I guess it's just because of the order. The three render service is the last one. I think the three group service goes in right here. Uh, okay. All right, so now, I don't know, I think we might have to kill it. It doesn't seem to be watching. It doesn't really watch the tests. It seems to watch. Well, it's very inconsistent. It is funny because this was probably the first. Like today, I think if you were growing up today, if you were like 10 years old and you were growing up today, um, you would not sort of have this deeply ingrained reliance and um, expectant that the computers are going to be accurate. So like for me, it was like either computers were consistent when I was growing up. They either always failed or always succeeded, but they didn't like sometimes get it right and sometimes get it wrong and stuff like that. But that is clearly not the case today. All right, so the pattern, it looks like we only have one other one, and the pattern appears to be that this is the error. This is the thing it was calling that was an error, and then this is the actual error. And again, this is the exact same error. I don't know if it's in the same. Doesn't look like it's in the same. Oh, it is. It's in the exact same function, and it's this guy, line 95. So let's go ahead and we'll save that. And theoretically, that should solve everything, I think. I can't even begin to tell you how many hours I've spent on unit tests, like thousands of hours, thousands and thousands of hours, and almost all of them I was being paid for. So I was just trying to get it done. When I'm being paid to do something, I generally try to, as much as I can, leverage my existing experience. I don't try to do a lot of experimenting and stuff inside of, okay, so it's compiling now. So the next step will be to um, try to get 100% coverage. I don't know what coverage we're going to be at now. I'm guessing like 94% coverage. Ooh. Oh, actually, the next step is to get all the unit tests passing. So we do have one failing. This entity table component should create an instance. So let's see if we can figure out what that is about. So there's a couple ways to find things. One is you can look in here a lot of times and you can see where the error happened. It looks like ST group spec. Looks like this is our problem right here. Hit Control plus so you can see. See, if you look through here, you can see that there's a ST group spec on line 5, column 12. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to copy this name here. Let me control minus this, control minus. What are we at? 100%. Okay. And now it's line 5 is where our problem is in this file. Control P, Control P, paste the name of the file in there, and there it is. So should create an instance st group. Oh, okay. This is actually our new function. And it compiles, but it doesn't exist. And so probably there's a probably the best approach would be like to go find another one and see what I did to make it exist. I'm assuming it's probably something towards the top. Yeah. So we definitely need to do something like that. I'm pretty sure. So what I want to do actually, I want to close others and then I'm going to come right back into this animations class spec. Nope, wrong one. I want to go to ST mesh spec. Mesh deferred class spec. And then basically we want to do something like this. I'm guessing we already have the import. It's probably already in there. So this basically will just get me an instance yeah, there it is. It looks like I do it right at the beginning of the describe block. So MDDC, so I'm guessing that's MD, ST mesh deferred class. MD, so that's probably mesh. So this is going to be GD, DC, deferred dependency class instance group. Oh, spelled it. All right, now that's one thing we have to do, and then it looks like we have to do before each. Right after that, and we'll do this. And then it looks like we're going to have to like import all this test bed stuff. So let's go back over here. Oh, guess that's all the test bed stuff right there. And then we want to say that we have a GD. And the G, I'm thinking the M is for mesh. I'm 99% sure after having, because it's mesh, so group, deferred, dependency, class. So, and so now we're just going to create an instance of it by using the new keyword, and then this will automatically create a new instance. I believe it's the word is instantiate a new instance, and the very first thing it does when it instantiates the instance from our perspective is uh, it executes the constructor. So the constructor is the very first thing that we can control. All right. So now, for some reason, like I said, it doesn't necessarily, if you change the test, it doesn't seem to kick off the changes. Um, like if you're watching and you don't really know unit tests and stuff, I would definitely not, um, probably not learn. Definitely is over. So we overstated it, but I probably wouldn't do that. Okay, injection failed. Must call from an injection such as constructor, factory, build, initializer, or something else. So did we do? I don't think we did anything different. So all we do is this. Oh, did we? Yeah, we did all of this, I thought. Actually, this is the right one. All right, let's go at this one. So here's where we create an instance. Here's where we run injection context. Testbed run in injected st group. Hmm. Okay, I think maybe I should kill the whole thing and restart it because I'm doing everything. I'm running it the in there, and then I'm just saying, hey, does it exist? Oh, wait, that doesn't seem right. Ah, yeah, that actually did make sense. Okay. I don't know how I got that. Oh, because Angular did that for me when I created when I used the CLI to create it, it actually created this test like this, which absolutely is wrong. Wrong, Angular, wrong. Man, it's crazy. So for 3 weeks, I've been asking, I think it's 3 weeks, it might be 2 weeks. I've been asking ChatGPT, talking about it, about Angular 22, and like, okay, I'm doing some Angular 22 work, blah, 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 blah. Every single time it says that at service decorator doesn't exist. An at service is a decorator to create services that Angular put into Angular 22 for the first time. And it's awesome. I think it's way better than injectable. Just personal opinion. I could be wrong on that, but I'm just saying it's been like that for several weeks now. I think for 3 weeks at least, maybe 4 weeks. Um, I tried doing it either 2 or 3 weeks ago, and then it had been around for a week or so before I did it. So this has been around for over a month, probably, my guess. And ChatGPT still is unaware and will still correct me and say, hey, you're wrong. There's no such thing as service. Yeah, as of yesterday, I tried it and it was still like, and I was like, LOL, yeah, you keep saying that, but you're wrong. Please go check. And then it'll be like, oh my gosh, you're right. I was wrong. And it's so the one thing it proves to me is that like, well, it doesn't prove it to me, but it makes me think that they don't actually learn from your interactions with it. All right. So hopefully we don't have any failing tests this time. So the one failing test we had at this point was the test that Angular made for me. All right. So now the next question, now that they're all nobody's failing, the next question is, so we're at 99% plus on all that. So we have 6 lines of code that aren't covered. We have one branch that's uncovered, 3 functions that are uncovered, and two uh, and 6 lines that are uncovered. So there's, yeah, 6 lines and 6 statements. All right, so the next step is to come in here, and this is I'm gonna have to call it quits after this one, but is to come in here, find my browser. Let's resize that. Oh, oh. All right, and then we go over here to. I've been doing the for a long time, and I noticed that it seems to be very, very popular in young, like sub 20-year-old culture right now. Okay, so this needs to. So I want to drag this index.html over here and determine where my problems are. So we had the same number of statements and lines. So I'm just gonna. So we have 3 files, all of which are over 99%, but or like over 90%, except for the functions in ST animation. We added a new function. Let's see what we got going here. I'm guessing this one. Okay, so this one is ooh, my. So this one's at 98%. One line of code is not being covered. Oh, geez, that's always scary. Like, why would one line not be covered? Okay, that's actually not bad. All right, so oh, is it also one function? Do we get one of our functions here too? Yep. All right, because there's 3 functions. So this definitely will be easy. It looks like all we have to do is call this with an array of numbers. And then we check to see if it returns a true or false, and we're done. So that'll be fun. Oh my gosh, that is one major benefit of not having a bunch of logic in here is that it just runs. When I run this function, that'll work. So now this is the one we want to work on. It is the spec for this guy right here. So what I'm going to do, and I know just out of memory, I know that it's in the same folder as this, right? ST mesh service. And it is this line of code, line 108, right there. So that's the one that is not being called right now. And we'll do this so that tomorrow it's a little faster to come up to speed. Um, has other scenes. Oh, actually, we don't want has other scenes anymore because a mesh doesn't check for other scenes. So let's try that real quick. Yeah, so we have other groups. Hopefully that doesn't break anything in the actual application either. Okay, so that's that. Okay, so that worked fine. That worked fine. This guy should be. Did it run? So that was dead code. And it would have been very, very easy. Oh man, I think when I did that last time, that was ended up being a bad outcome. Okay, good. So now we're at 100%. So that was easy. Now we go back to all files. And then we go to our statements again. And now there's only 2. No. Oh, that's right. That one had 2 files in it. Yeah, so this is the other one. So this has 2 functions, one function that's not being called as well. So get scene service. So that one will probably be really easy to unit test. So Control P, Control V, and then basically we need to add a get scene service. So weird. We have this call. Oh, yeah. Oh, wrong. Silly rabbit. Okay, so we want to add a get scene service function. So what is going on? Okay, tab, space, control plus, check mark. Oh, um, yeah. Test for get scene service. Is this the? I don't think I'm in the right place. Nope, I wasn't even in the right place. And I think this will get even more complicated. Just Control Z everything. All right, so this is the one we want to be in. And we want to go to his service right there. And now over here is where we want to get the scene service. So I'm still in the wrong place again. Oh, this guy right here for this guy. This is really weird to me. ST mesh deferred dependency class. ST mesh deferred dependency class. Get scene service. Does this one even need it anymore though? There's another one. I don't know if should I don't think the mesh service should even get the scene service. So this is another function I don't think we need. Yeah, we don't even need it anymore. And here I am again. Yeah, so and it's, oh, and I guess get group service does get called as a, all right, so I'm gonna have to go. I wish I could get a little, I mean, like we have this thing on fire. Now removing that function was definitely improves. Like you don't want a lot of dead code in your code. It's a really bad idea. But the thing is that um, that didn't make the project any closer to being done, which is, like sort of the conundrum of unit tests to me is that like they find things, they do all the stuff they find. A lot of the stuff they find is really good, but oh man, do they slow things down. Anyways, happy coding, everybody. Have a wonderful day. Bye.